Hi everyone. In this video, I'm wanting to share this one beyond my photography community, because generally most of you guys are all awesome and interesting, fun, and nice people generally. I got an email which I'm not going to show you the email. I'm not going to show you what it was written by or anything like that because it's not really one to show. But what it is, a photographer sent me an email saying, "Dom, thank you very much for your videos. They're really cool." Anyway, went on to say how he was impressed that I keep on making lots of videos and helping out lots of beginner photographers, and that he's just saying how can I be bothered? How does it not totally get on my nerves constantly giving out beginner information kind of stuff? I was like, well, because it's all right. I don't really find it an issue. I don't, I get pleasure out of imparting knowledge with other people. But anyway, what you're saying is that this photographer, I'm not saying it's a he, I'm not saying it could have been a she, I'm just saying that they hate newbie photographers. Newbie, beginner, whatever you want to call it. And he's saying that the worst thing that he hates is whenever he goes whenever this photographer goes anywhere to do a shoot, and another photographer comes along with a camera which might be as good as his and tries to spark up a conversation with him, and he knows that he's there for a job and that the person there is just there as an amateur, and he knows that he is better than them. He's saying he cannot give them any time or any kind of whatever. He's just like, go away, I'm busy, bugger off. And he's just saying, how do you deal with that kind of stuff? So I was like, right, okay, how do I reply to this email? It's like, okay, dude, you don't like people. That's pretty much it. That's not really a photography bit of information I can give you. But it's sort of like, is there any bit of advice I could give this guy who's not a beginner, advice on this situation? So I was thinking about it, and it's like, the thing about photography is that you don't need to be a nice guy. You don't need to be sociable. You don't need to be friendly or even not a total dick and yet still be a very good photographer. You can be socially awkward, rude, arrogant, repulsively ugly, and yet you can make some of the best photos, best images, most accredited images that's around. You don't have to be super friendly, Mr. Happy, Mr. Nice. But what I would say, be a landscape photographer, no problem. Be a modelling photographer. And generally, if you're doing modelling stuff, you don't have to be friends with the model. In fact, sometimes that can not help certain shoots, especially if you're working with more professional models. Beginner models, it's always good to be friendly and, nice to them. But if you're doing more professional shoots for magazines and fashion stuff, the people you have to kiss the ass of are the fashion designers rather than the models that'll be displaying the clothes and stuff. So you don't have to be, oh, you're so pretty, you're so lovely. You can actually be like, no, give it to me more personality, more serious, give me fierceness. And you don't need to be like, oh, that's okay, well done, we didn't get the shoot today, don't worry, we'll get it another day, stuff like that. So there's one photographer, I can't remember who it is, it's in one of my books, and he's just saying he's taken some of the best pictures of, best female photography models, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But he was an absolute dick to all his female models that he used. They're saying he was horrible, he was rude, he actually disrespected women, but yet his photos are so good. So photography doesn't need to be a Mr. Nice Guy occupation. You can be a dick and you can be a photographer. You can be a dick and you can still be a very good photographer. And you can still get great photos of people as well. But what I will say is that photography, if you're trying to make it a business, is not just there's two sides of the business really. There's commercial stuff, and then there's more kind of dealing with the public stuff. And a lot of photographers will gain a lot of their work, not necessarily through agencies or through big commissions, but through word of mouth and through, like, for example, wedding photographers. You can't be a dick and be a wedding photographer. If you're shooting somebody's wedding and you snap at something, or if you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake, hurry up, stand over there, or any of the group or people that are going to be there are going to be like, this guy's a knob, we don't want him at our wedding or even at anybody else's wedding they're going to, kind of stuff. And the same goes with a certain number of the guests at, for example, a wedding as well. If you go along there, you've taken all the shots of the bride and the groom and all that kind of stuff, and then you're waiting for the evening dancing part or something, and another guest comes along and says, oh, what do you think of my photos? Don't go, rubbish compared to mine, mine are better. They're just going to go, oh, right, okay, dick. You know, if you go, that's good, speak to them, encourage them, find out how they got into photography and all that kind of stuff. Go for it. You know, you're there to meet that person that could be a future potential client, or if not a client, but somebody that might go, oh yeah, I met a photographer at this wedding, his name was that, and maybe he could be doing something at your wedding in the future. So generally, if you think of your business as every person that you meet is a potential customer, client, or just word of mouther, then yeah, you have to be a nice, friendly, upbeat, non-miserable, non-judgmental, and non-snappy kind of person. However, if you're just dealing with agencies and like high-name clients where it's all about getting the shots rather than developing your business, then you're not really looking at these videos. So that doesn't really matter. So generally, yeah, if you're into landscapes, fine. You don't need to be a friendly person. Even events, you don't even really need to be a friendly person, because usually events it's through agencies and stuff. So yeah, you hate newbies. Do you know what? If it doesn't affect your business, you don't really have to change. However, if you are a newbie semi-pro and you're getting fed up of people asking you newbie questions, you're probably just going to get a lot more of that in the future, because so many people are getting into photography, and it's not going to make you look good and not really going to help you develop your business or your client base if you're a grumpy, miserable, non-friendly person that doesn't like giving out bits of information to beginners. But tell me what you think. Cheers, bye-bye.